I am Doomsvince, and this is day 86 of Spawn Year.
Yesterday's comic made me feel the way I did when I read Spawn number 5 with Billy Kincaid. Ironic that it was also number 5. I said I'd never eat popsicles again, I wouldn't have any more children, and now, if I happen to change my mind and do have another kid, if it's a girl, I'm never letting her get in the back of an ambulance. Curse of the Spawn number 5 is about showing the worst humanity has to offer, without any occult magic or cosmic deities at work. It says that human beings are capable of unfathomable evil all on their own, and that evil facilitates more evil. This arc is also, I think, about what people are driven to do who feel insignificant. It's all about the psychology of serial killers. We're introduced to several more in this issue. Each has a unique motif or gimmick. Each defines his motivation and justifies his reprehensible behavior in his own way, but the one thing they all have in common is that killing makes them feel relevant. Sam and Twitch, in losing their jobs and stature, are also wrestling with issues of inadequacy and irrelevance. That's something we all experience, and the desire to matter, to be more than we are right now, is usually a healthy motivator, but these killers have all had a break with reality, and each thinks he's the only one who sees the world the way it really is, and so he must fix it. There's a good parallel here between heroes and monsters. Often both are extreme personalities that think the world needs them to be made right again. This issue, thankfully, did not make me wish I could wash down the intense, creepy feeling I had with an episode of Powerpuff Girls like the last one. There's still a lot of gruesome mutilation and such, but this issue is focused more on developing plot, which thickens quite a bit. But now that I mention it, I could really go for some Powerpuff Girls. Now that we've been introduced to some serial killers, we meet the Postman and the Cargo Killer, both of whom are themselves brutally killed by another serial killer who hunts only serial killers. The police and the talking heads on the news, yeah, they're here and apparently talk one right after the other on TV, even though they're supposed to be on entirely different networks. Anyway, they seriously question if this is really such a bad thing. Appropriately for a comic set in this universe, we get a mysterious character who blurs the lines between those hero and monster archetypes. This person is presumably also driven by a desire to be relevant, and is actually helping things. Vigilantes willing to kill bad guys certainly aren't new, but a vigilante with a serial killer personality who is maybe no different from the others, each also having a specific type of victim they prefer, is worth exploring. It turns out this killer is a woman called Suture, who we finally see in a movie theater when she kills Mobley, the one who keeps the eyes, before he can shoot up the whole theater. This was made all the more uncomfortable for me, of course, as I thought about the shooting in Colorado just last summer. It's really odd, though, that they're watching the live-action Spawn movie, and that took me out. I knew this was just before that movie was released, and these comics are advertising for and talking about it like crazy in the back of these books, but they made a Spawn movie in Spawn's universe? I guess after all that word-of-mouth advertising he did for himself, it makes sense Spawn would be a household name by now. I'm really intrigued to learn more about Suture. She's the only woman out of these killers. How does that factor into who she's killing, and why? What's with all the scars and bandages? At first I thought she was one of the angels, but I appreciate that this is still a street-level thriller, and there's nothing supernatural so far to get in the way of the study of killers. Sam and Twitch, meanwhile, are hired by Wayne, Gretchen's fiancé. Gretchen is the woman who was killed after being taken advantage of last issue. Wayne says he asked around and people told him Sam and Twitch were the best. That's a little bit of lazy writing, I think. They haven't had one case like this, and all of a sudden they just happen to be investigating the death of a woman Sam almost killed with his car. I really wanted to see them get thrown into this investigation after what we saw last issue, not have it conveniently land in their lap like this. I was relieved to see a lot less exposition clogging up the pages this issue. Hopefully that trend continues. This one was a solid read, and my skin's not even crawling. Bonus! Signed, Captain Logan.